most of you are aware that you can purchase allegedly haunted dolls off eBay, Etsy, various sites like this. So I was like, let's try the gander and let's try to basically see if we can find one and maybe disprove it or something of that notion, something really. But, or just to see if it is true, pretty much. So we have with us, her name is Maya. She is allegedly haunted. And Maya here, she has kind of a dark background, but she actually does like kind of in the process seem good is what the background story is. Maya allegedly murdered her husband and conversating with her, if it is in fact real, if she regrets it, which, okay. But it's intriguing to see what she can actually do with the dowsing rod. And a lot of people are skeptical over dowsing rods. They're like, oh, it can be easily manipulated. But I'm going to show you this dowsing rod right here. Okay, it's almost it's as long as my forearm, a little longer than my forearm. Keep in mind, I'm not a very tall man, but it's from finger to tip, it's as long as my forearm. From the tip of my finger to the elbow. Just right here, it has a handle on it, as you can see. It will swivel. You can clearly see, you can see all the way down it. So, you got that little handle here, which some doesn't, some does. We're going to try to zoom it in just a little. Bear with me, guys. This is basically unedited, unraw footage. Now, I would like, if someone is out there and literally can debunk this, then do so. Because I myself have had some time with it. Grant you, she doesn't really respond to anything other than the dowsing rod, which was said whenever I purchased her. So, we're going to circle it right here. I'm going to start right here. And you see kind of gravity playing into it and pulling downhill. She doesn't like the traditional way of conversating with the dowsing rod. She likes doing her own thing for some reason. She seems independent if it is true. But it's pretty interesting what I say to see the dowsing rod do. If that makes sense. In other words, it's pretty interesting that when I ask her to point the rod at something, she almost immediately does it. Which is very interesting. And it's kind of weird. But we're going to go start out and we're going to say, Maya, can you start with pointing the rod at me? You want to conversate, Maya? And of course the rod is now pointed at me. Can you take the rod back around and point it maybe at the mirror? The rod is now at the mirror. Can you point it at the doll that you inhabited, Maya? Like I've said before, take your time. You're a really pretty doll, too. Maya, do you think you can spin the rod around for me? Okay. Maya, can you move the rod towards the camera? Now I'm trying to hold still as absolutely possible. I'm not touching any parts of the rod. Can you move the rod rod towards the camera for me, Maya? On that side? Towards the computer? Don't want to? Okay. Can you maybe point the rod towards the window? Will you point the rod back at me, Maya? Seems like you don't really want to talk right now. Is that true? It's okay. You know I mean you no harm. And I'm not trying to exploit or anything and that such. I really just want to document and try to figure out that if you are actually in fact real. Now you answered me on several occasions with pretty lengthy answers as well. Of course, you got to make the answers yes and no whenever you have the dowsing rod, guys, unless you do the traditional board style, which is the yes, unknown, not known, and no, of course. She likes the rod and spinning it, so I've let her do her thing. And she's not moving it again. Thank you for communicating with me. Do you think you can point the rod at the camera now for me? On the opposite side of the mirror over here across the room? Take your time as always. It actually just hit my arm and stopped, and she points the rod at the camera for the first time. Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. I really appreciate that. It is said that you, like I've asked before, and I'm sure that it's getting a little gratuitous, that you don't like men. Is that correct? Okay. Can I ask you, but you like me, right? I really appreciate that. And you said before that I remind you of an ex-friend in your past life, right? And that you was even intimate with this ex-friend. Am I correct? The full circles, guys, is for yes, by the way. And you said that it wasn't my physical attraction that you sense, but yet the spiritual attraction that you have with me, correct? It's very interesting. Very interesting. You think you could stop the rod? You think you could point it back at the doll for me? Wow, it's really amazing what you can do with this. I really wish that you could communicate through other ways. And I think that you can, but I don't know if you like them. Do you like any other way of communication? Can you point the rod at the mirror for me? Take your time as always. Thank you. Your hair smells really good too as well. I'll just say, for a doll. It's pretty interesting. Someone really took care of you. might be a little annoyed. Are you a little annoyed? I do apologize. I don't mean to unnerve you. I'm just really trying to get some of the answers and questions that I asked you and answers that you gave me from earlier on tape, if you don't mind. And I promise I won't be any more gratuitous with what I've already asked, and I will try to think and come up with new ways to ask you new things. Yes? Okay. Do you think that you could point the rod maybe at the mirror? Do you think you could point the rod at the doll and then me? It really is amazing what you can do. Take your time as always. Yes, just point it at the doll and then right after you can point it to me. Thank you for conversating with me. It really means a lot. I do plan on to conversate with you more and have many, many times like this. I wished you would talk through the motion balls, but you seemingly said that you don't like those, right? You say you don't like the motion lights? Is it because you don't want people to see you? Or is it because you think it'll scare me? Okay. I'm not really sure how it works with you all in your communication, but I'm sure we could try to work on it. You think we could try to work on it? Thank you, Maya. I'm going to let you get some rest, okay? But before I go, Maya, you think you could stop the rod from spinning? You think you could point it back at the doll that you inhabited? Thank you very much. Yeah. Like I said, if someone knows you can debunk this somehow, enlighten me. I've looked it up, and as far as I know, you can't point a dowsing rod with your self-conscious. As far as I know. But, yeah, you guys give me your thoughts.